Something amazing is happening right now, something the world hasn't seen in thousands of years. People from every corner of the globe are returning to a small piece of land in the Middle East. You've probably heard it called many things over the centuries: Canaan, Judea, the Promised Land, but today we know it as Israel. And what's happening there isn't just about politics or migration. It's much bigger than that. This isn't just a group of people looking for a better life. It's something ancient, something prophetic. It's the fulfillment of a prophecy written over 2,500 years ago by a man named Ezekiel. And the wild part? It's unfolding right now, in our lifetime. But before we dive deeper, if you're enjoying this kind of faith-based content, where we explore biblical prophecy, history, and archaeology, hit that subscribe button and tap the bell so you don't miss what's coming next. So, who was Ezekiel? He was a prophet who lived during one of the darkest moments in Israel's history. Around 597 BC, the people of Judah were invaded by the Babylonians. Jerusalem was torn down. The Holy Temple was set on fire. Families were taken into exile. The people were scattered across foreign lands. It looked like everything was over. But even in the middle of all that destruction and heartbreak, God gave Ezekiel a message of hope, a powerful vision that would echo through the ages. Ezekiel didn't just see hope, he saw the future. Not just for the Jewish people, but for the entire world. In Ezekiel 36 verse 24, God makes an incredible promise. "For I will take you from among the nations, gather you out of all countries, and bring you into your own land." Think about that. Even though the Jewish people were scattered all over the world, God said he would bring them back to the land he originally gave them. And the promise doesn't stop there. In Ezekiel chapter 37, we see one of the most powerful visions in the Bible, the Valley of Dry Bones. Ezekiel is shown a massive valley filled with bones. Dry. Lifeless. A picture of death and hopelessness. But then, God says something surprising. "Speak to these bones." As Ezekiel speaks, something incredible happens. The bones begin to rattle, they come together, muscles form, flesh covers them, and then they breathe. What was once dead comes back to life. This powerful image wasn't just about bones. It was a vision of Israel itself, once scattered, broken, and lifeless. But one day, it would be reborn. In verses 21 and 22 of that same chapter, God says, "Surely I will take the children of Israel from among the nations wherever they have gone and will gather them from every side and bring them into their own land. And I will make them one nation in the land on the mountains of Israel." This isn't just poetic language. It's not just symbolism. This is prophecy. And here's what's wild. It actually started to happen, almost 2,000 years later. After the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD, the Jewish people were driven from their homeland. They were scattered across Europe, Asia, Africa, and eventually the Americas. For centuries, it looked like the nation of Israel would never exist again. But then, something changed. For centuries, people believed it would never happen. Empires came and went. Borders changed. Maps were redrawn. But through it all, the Jewish people remained without a homeland. Still, they never forgot. Generation after generation, Jewish families across the world would end their Passover meals with a powerful phrase, "Next year in Jerusalem." It wasn't just a tradition. It was hope, a deep hope rooted in Scripture, a belief that one day, Ezekiel's words would come true. Then, something unbelievable happened. In 1948, after nearly 2,000 years of exile, and following the horror of the Holocaust, the modern state of Israel was born. On May 14th, David Ben-Gurion stood up and declared Israel's independence. For the first time in almost 2 millennia, the Jewish people had a nation again. To many, it looked like a political milestone. But for those familiar with Ezekiel's prophecy, it was something far greater. It was prophecy unfolding right before their eyes. "I will bring you into your own land." Ezekiel 36 verse 24. You shall dwell in the land I gave to your fathers. Ezekiel 36 verse 28. But this story didn't end in 1948. In fact, that was just the beginning. Since then, millions of Jewish people have returned to Israel, from Russia, Ethiopia, India, France, Argentina, the US, and so many more places. They're coming home. This return is known in Hebrew as Aliyah, which means ascent or going up. And it's not just a historical event, it's still happening today. Every year, tens of thousands make Aliyah. Some are escaping danger. Others are following faith. Many are simply hoping for a better life for their children. But whether they realize it or not, they're stepping straight into an ancient prophecy. This isn't just migration. This is the vision of Ezekiel coming to life. Fear not, for I am with you. I will bring your descendants from the east and gather you from the west. I will say to the north, give them up, and to the south, do not hold them back. Bring my sons from afar and my daughters from the ends of the earth. Isaiah 43 verses 5 to 6. And it's all happening, right now in our lifetime. But Ezekiel didn't just speak about people returning, he also saw something incredible happening to the land itself. In Ezekiel 36 verse 35, God says, "This land that was desolate has become like the Garden of Eden." For centuries, Israel's land was dry, empty, and forgotten. In fact, when Mark Twain visited in the 1800s, he described it as lifeless and deserted. But look at it today. Israel is blooming. It's now a global leader in agriculture, water innovation, and reforestation. Vineyards line the hills of Samaria. Lush fields grow vegetables and fruit. What was once barren is now thriving. Today, even the desert is blooming. Flowers are rising where nothing once grew. Modern irrigation brings water to dry, cracked ground. It's as if the land itself is responding to the return of its people, like nature is playing its part in Ezekiel's prophecy. So, what does all of this mean for us? First, it shows us that God is faithful. What He promised thousands of years ago, He's still doing it today. He hasn't forgotten His people, and He hasn't forgotten you either. Second, it reminds us that the Bible is alive. This isn't just ancient history or religious tradition. These are real events happening right now, just as they were written. And third, it tells us something powerful. We are living in prophetic times. The very days that the prophets looked forward to, we're witnessing them unfold. The return of the Jewish people to Israel isn't just a headline. It's a signpost, a clear message from God that His word is true, and that He's not done yet. Yes, much of Ezekiel's vision has come to pass, but there's still more ahead. This return is just one piece of the puzzle. What comes next? A spiritual awakening. A time of rebuilding faith, restoring hearts, and preparing for what the Bible calls the end of days. In Ezekiel 36, verses 26 to 27, God says, "I will give you a new heart and put a new spirit within you, and cause you to walk in my ways." That's a promise of something deeper, not just a physical return to the land, but a spiritual return to God. A time is coming when people will once again know their Creator, and the world will see His glory. We're not there yet, but we're getting closer every day. The return of the Jewish people to Israel is one of the greatest miracles of our time. It was written in Scripture, and it's happening right now. Ezekiel saw it in a vision. We're seeing it in real life. Dry bones are rising. The scattered are coming home. And a once desolate land is blooming again. Through all of this, God is reminding us. His word never fails. We are living in a time where prophecy and history are coming together, a time to stay awake, stay grounded, and draw close to the one who holds it all. So let's keep watching. Let's keep believing. And let's never forget, God always keeps His promises. If you haven't already, subscribe to our channel so you don't miss more powerful stories like this. Thanks for watching, and may the Lord bless you as you seek His truth.